with Leslie Rogalski, and Leslie, you are going to show us some brand new beads from Japan.
That's right. These are very interesting beads. They're flat, square, and they have 2 holes in them. So they're just being explored now in terms of what stitches and how to work them. And you have to keep in mind that there are 2 holes, because even with stitches that you're very familiar with, you need to just play with them a little bit. It's like a little extra wrapping of your brain around this.
And the colors are just beautiful.
The colors are fantastic. There's mattes, there's metallics, there's shiny opaques. They have a slight difference to the sides, but unless you're really compulsive, you really don't have to pay attention to that.
Good.
So I don't.
Good.
Okay, so I have, in my explorations, I decided that I wanted to show you flat right angle weave with these. That it's the easiest way to show how to use the 2 holes.
Great, and you can really see the 2 holes there.
Yes, and you can see how they run through and they're parallel. And they are a nice uniform size, like a lot of other Japanese beads. So you're going to use, depending on your piece, you're going to use the strength of thread that's suitable and a size 10 or a size 12 needle to go through the holes. Okay, so here I have started a piece of flat right angle weave, and you can see that I'm coming out the outside hole here. Now, in order to continue up here, I have to weave my way through around in right angle weave to come out the top hole. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to work this flat because the beads do tend to flip around, I'm going to have to go back down the inside hole, around all the inside holes, and come out the outside hole in order to be ready to add my next unit. So here's how that works. Okay, now you can see these flip around a little bit, but let's work with this 1 unit. I'm going to go around.
You're just holding it down with your thumb.
I'm just holding it, laying it on my finger so that the beads spread out so that I can see how that right angle weave unit, and you really do not want to start learning flat right angle weave with these. You really want to learn how to do it beforehand. And you can see I'm going, there's an outer hole and an inner hole, and I'm going through the inner hole, and I'm going to go through the inner hole all the way around.
And this is really good for people who are proficient at right angle weave because it gives them another way to use that stitch.
It does, and I think if you are a right angle weave fan, you're going to have so much fun with these. There's a lot of variations that I'm going to show you later. Okay, so I've come out the inner hole, and now I'm going to come out that outer hole, and now I'm going to be ready to add my next unit of right angle weave. Is going to come here. Now let me show you a piece that's already in progress. In order to keep the beads, the Tila beads, in laying flat, because they do have a tendency, remember there's 1 hole, so they're going to flap around. I decided to string 3mm glass rounds, which through trial and error are the ones that fit in between the beads. And I just sewed them through the outer hole of the beads all around the parameter to hold those beads in place and make a nice cuff.
And it's also creating an embellished edge there.
It does, and one of the things about these is, as far as embellishment goes, the sky's the limit. They're so new. I can't wait to see what you and everybody else does with these.
Yeah, well they're really great, especially with this right angle weave. And you've done part of the work for us figuring that out. So
well, you're very welcome. So I have a little 3mm round, and I'm going through the outer hole of the outside of the parameter, and there it is, and it just fits right in there, and you go all around, and you want to make sure that you're going through the correct hole, and you can fill those in. Now, of course, you can fill in a lot of the other holes too, and I did bring some finished samples.
Yeah, let's look at these. So this is the same idea where you stitch through the edge?
This is the same thing that I just showed you, where I stitched through the edge, but I also stitched through the center. And I created a little bail for a button and loop closure. Now the bracelet, which does not have a clasp on it, this uses herringbone in between. You know, the 2 holes are so ideal for herringbone. I wasn't able to get the squares to do that little nice herringbone effect, but they're perfect for putting herringbone in between. And I also have another bracelet over here with herringbone, the blue one, which edges a cuff with herringbone columns in between.
Oh wow, and look
a cuff.
At that.
And it really, and you can see the gorgeous AB color of that gold metallic.
And this works so well here because the 2 holes on the edge of this bead then are the perfect
It's perfect.
size.
Now you can experiment with size 11 and size 10 to see what fills up the parameter, the side of the square beads.
And this is gorgeous. I love the sort of tribal feel of this piece.
Thank you. And you know, that's my worldwide right angle weave with the new beads. Talk about embellishment. Here's a classic example where I started with a stitch that I just told you, filling in the blanks, and then I couldn't stop. And I went further and further and said, now I have to add pearls, and now I have to add these beautiful bone beads from
these are
Africa.
pearls?
They're little pearls. They're dyed pearls with the rounds, with 3mm rounds, 4mm rounds, and different colors of the Tila beads, and it forms this great lattice work with a magnet clasp.
That is gorgeous.
You can see even on the other side, it shows you the pattern. You can see the right angle weave and how it was adapted to that.
And let's take another look at that blue bracelet. The clasp is just genius, Leslie.
Thank you. I love to embellish magnet clasps.
Well, thanks so much.